Welcome back, chooms. With Phantom Liberty being out for a few days now and thus starting to settle a bit, we can finally talk about all of the latest news, including changes coming to patch 2.01, which is releasing soon as said by CD Projekt customer service Twitter account. Keep in mind that these changes are coming to PC and consoles as well. The first change is that the distorted effects caused by selecting a specific dialogue option when talking to Johnny at the end of Automatic Love will no longer persist on screen. Also, V will no longer flatline in the heights by falling through the elevator when riding to the 42nd floor with low FPS. I swear the bugs in this game appear in some of the most random cases ever. They also fixed an issue where UI could show controller inputs when playing with keyboard and mouse. I know people were telling me about this problem a lot in my comments, where they're basically just playing throughout the game and everything that they're doing stops because the entire layout starts changing straight away, which honestly I'm glad this is finally being fixed. They also made it possible to properly switch to ARM's cyberware now by cycling through weapons. I actually thought this became a feature since they didn't really want cyberware to appear when you cycle. I mean, I used to press 4 and then my, cyberware appears, and this was after 2.0. It was a bit weird, but luckily it won't be a problem anymore. Gig breaking news will properly be triggered after approaching the quest area now. Also, vehicle radio volume will be adjusted so it's not too quiet when compared to the other sounds in the game. Good, because I honestly thought I was the only one who had this, especially the new radio station Growl FM had this issue for me, where I'm basically driving in a car and I think that the music is not playing because it's just too quiet. They also addressed the issue of corrupted saves on PlayStation 5 by increasing the maximum save file size limit. Note, this won't fix the saves corrupted before the update. If you're experiencing the issues, keep a working save. Example, resave it as a manual save until 2.01 arrives. Yeah, this one sucks a lot and it's honestly a major issue for a lot of people in my comments. It's definitely bad when saves get corrupted, especially in a game this big where people might have saves before some story decisions or endgame characters or just more character saves in general. That's why I like to keep my backup of my saves at least on PC, because I had a similar issue with The Witcher 3 long time ago and it's definitely not a pleasant thing. So hopefully this is solved properly after 2.01, but definitely resave it as a manual save as they said, just to be sure. And also for the end, this patch will include performance improvements for both PC and consoles, especially in Dogtown area. As I reported in my expansion review, yeah, there were definitely pockets of areas within Dogtown, like the middle area next to the pyramid, and also in Longshore Stacks and the stadium itself, where, FPS just tends to tank a bit, but we shall see how much will this improve after the update drops. I will of course have a video on it. On SteamDB size, we can definitely see a new branch, which does tell us that the patch is on the way. Now of course not over the weekend, but starting next week definitely, so stay tuned for more news. In the case you have other problems and want to report them, I will leave you a CDPR link I used before to report bugs I experienced, and plus your issue might be listed here as well. In the other news, as I reported before, Cyberpunk active player numbers have been on the rise since the release of update 2.0. And with PL coming out, that number managed to get a new peak of almost 250,000 active players, with the usual numbers going from 150,000 to 230,000 depending on the time of the day. With the weekend being here and next week, I do expect this number to stay around this area. I asked a while back what numbers people expect, and most answers were in this logical zone of 200 to 300,000 people, with some saying more, which, would be cool, but look, it's not the release day anymore. Things don't really work that way when it comes to expansions, especially if your peak is 1 million. Going to 1 million again would be insane. But keep in mind, these are only Steam numbers. Sadly, for the rest we cannot see it and have to wait for CDPR to release general sales numbers. And if they follow 1.6 patch trend, we should have a general report of total amount of players most likely in a few days or weeks max. And look, Cyberpunk went through this wild roller coaster ever since the release. Lots of different changes, but now finally I think that majority of stuff developers wanted to include is here, and it's a very nice send-off to the game and Red Engine itself. Of course, questions already started from media about the next game, and if this is really the final expansion, to which, well, you know, people who follow this channel know it's definitely the last expansion, and now they're gonna be moving on to different stuff. And look, now they can finally start working on their next Cyberpunk game, and that's also what they said. But this one is really far away. Even the next Witcher game will take a long time, you know, to release. And Cyberpunk, well, first they have to finish up setting the entire studio, or well, branch of the studio, and doing everything else there. And knowing CDPR, those things will be relatively slow. So don't expect anything soon. And also before we end, we have a special message from the Spirit Machines, who have their song Candy Shell featured in Growl FM, which you can hear in Cyberpunk 2077. Now of course, huge thanks for them for being a part of this channel. You have all of their links down below, and also keep in mind, they've released an EP with a bunch of songs from Night City and like actually Cyberpunk lore, so definitely check it out.
Dave came up with scratch guitar. And Pepper, like, after you guys watched Edge Runners and got kind of inspired, right, by the whole cyber psycho, that's kind of such a big theme in Edge Runners, so I think we wanted to explore that.
Yeah, Mike was telling us about going cyber psycho, and I thought that was really interesting too, because, I don't know, it just seems like life is really stressful, and, yeah, Dave had 2 songs that he was kind of playing with, and in the end we just decided to combine them. And
I wanted to make a riff that sounded like you could drive to it.
Oh yeah, and I was for some reason I was really obsessed with Highway to the Danger Zone, and I wanted it to come in just like Highway to the Danger Zone. I wanted you to feel like
Top Gun.
Yeah, Top Gun, like you're about to watch Tom Cruise do some stuff.
So if you listen to Candy Shell and you like it, then we wrote a 5-song Cyberpunk EP, which is songs similar to Candy Shell. They kind of cover different themes. If you want that, you can get it for free at spiritmachinesband.com/cyberpunk.
And this is everything for this kinda short Cyberpunk news update. I'm working on more guide, lore and build videos that I will release very soon. Thank you for an insane support so far, it definitely means a lot. And if you enjoyed this video, subscribe and like for more. Also join our community on Twitter and Discord. Also huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters, and this is LKM signing out. Stay classy chooms, and I will see you very soon with a new video. Bye bye.